Hey everybody, and for a bit of a depressing video here. So I've been playing a lot, and I mean a fucking lot of Mechanist recently. Just Mechanist all the time, and it's made me really miss Ranger, but not like, wanting to go back and play Ranger right now because Mechanist sucks. No, because Mechanist is so much better than the Ranger pet, which is so frustrating. It's so frustrating to me, the fact that the Ranger pet pales in comparison to the mech. Now, I'm not talking about Core Ranger or Druid or Soul Beast. I'm talking about Untamed, right? A lot of us, when we saw Untamed, when we were thinking about Untamed, a lot of the Ranger people out there were like, we need something that makes our pet stronger, that really makes our pet, like, gives us a Beastmaster sort of fantasy that we've wanted for so long. And we've just never got that with Core Ranger, Druid, Soul Beast. I mean, hell, the last Elite Spec, Soul Beast, I mean, it was most effectively played by getting rid of your pet the entire time. We wanted something that made our pet stronger. And yeah, it kind of did, right? The unleashing system, getting a little more damage out of your pet, ferocious symbiosis, but it's just not nearly as much as Mechanist. Now, I'm not asking for Mechanist to be nerfed here, because a lot of people like myself that just want that Beastmaster fantasy have just switched to Mechanist because it's just like, it's just better. Like the mech is just a lot better than the Ranger pet. I just ask that we take a look at some of the mech qualities and decide to put this on the Ranger pet, because there's so many qualities about the mech that are absolutely fantastic, that we just don't see with the Ranger, and it's really, really frustrating. And I don't know. I just wish they would do a lot of this for the Ranger pet, because it just makes me jealous. Like, it just is like this poor soul came in with Untamed. Like, you notice how every Untamed build literally makes no use of the pet at all? Like, they don't. Like, every benchmark I see is like, yeah, no boons on the pet, because they just don't really, like, care to do it. It's just not that big of a damage increase. They don't really give a shit about it. And it's, more practical to have no boons on your pet. You have to take the entire nature magic trait line to get boons on your pet. You would think all of that would be in the Beast Mastery trait line, right? You would think all of the stuff that makes your pet stronger would be in your Beast Mastery trait line, but no, it's scattered everywhere. It's scattered all over the place. And it's stupid, because guess what? I could take these two lines here that are basically just focused on myself, with the exception for aim assisted rocket that counts on the power mech for the bottom here for your power build. But I mean, literally, like 99% of this is just for yourself, to make you stronger, to make your damage higher. And your Mechanist trait line is entirely focused around the mech. So this is what you use to do to make your mech stronger, and it makes it significantly stronger. By the way, you'll see some of the traits I'm going to go over make it significantly stronger than the Ranger pet. Where the Ranger, if I want to effectively build into my pet, I need all three trait lines to be focused around my pet. That's Nature Magic for the boon sharing, Beast Mastery to make my pet stronger, and Beast Mastery doesn't even really make your pet that much stronger, by the way. Pets have really, really low crit chance on the Ranger. Like the Iboga, for instance, has, I believe, a 12% crit chance if you're not running Beast Mastery, and a whopping 17% crit chance if I'm running fucking Beast Mastery. Meanwhile, on the mech, I'm using the melee setup here for tankiness, but I mean, 60% crit chance that goes up to 85 with Fury, and then right here, I can get 100% crit chance with Fury on this build right here. And meanwhile, on the Ranger with Fury, you get like 45, 50. Like, whoop-de-fucking-do. Or actually 42 to 45 or whatever. Actually, no, that's wrong. That's wrong because of the critical chance increase. You'll go up to like 67 or 62. But it's nowhere near that 100% crit chance that you'll get on the power build, right? Ridiculous. The power increase of Beast Mastery is 100 power. That's it. 100 power. That's all you get from trading into fucking Beast Mastery is 100 power. Whoop-de-doo. Now, there are some nice things, right? Like 30% increased movement speed is a great thing for the pet. I do really like that on the Beast Mastery, two-handed training to make your greatsword stronger, reduce the cooldowns. That feels great, but that's not for the pet. But the greatsword does interact with your pet a little bit, right? Like with the maul attack, boosting the damage on your pet for like 50% for the next attack. But you gotta get the theme here, right? Mech is better in every way. I'm not even joking. Every single way, it is objectively better than the Ranger pet. Isn't that sad? And just a single like elite spec on the engineer class, something that has nothing to do with pets, is kicking the shit out of Ranger, whose core profession mechanic is the pet. And it's hilarious because they did all of this for the Mechanist. They did all this work to make the Mechanist so strong, and then they made the Untamed that its core mechanic is the pet and unleashing the pet and unleashing yourself, and they don't decide to do any of this work on the Untamed pet. And it's frustrating to me because they did all this. It's clear that they put in so much attention on the Mechanist, but they just didn't care about the Untamed, which just feels terrible. It feels awful considering how much I was looking forward to this. And you guys saw how hyped I was and like how excited I was to play it. I mean, I was one of the only people who fucking loved it in the betas. I actually loved it in general. I still enjoy it, but I go on Mechanist and I'm just look at the damage that my pet does. This isn't even with the most optimal setup. This is just for tanking purposes, so my pet gets the, as a melee to get aggro better. And it just kicks the shit out of these guys, man. This is without the golem. It kicks the fuck out of these guys, dude. I'd be willing to bet the mech, my power mech, probably does more damage than like the average player. Like, it's really good. And like I said, I'm not asking for this to be nerfed. I think it's just, it needs to be written down and they need to take some notes on it. So we take a look at the traits here, right? So your tool belt skills are replaced with a pet, blah 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 blah. But here's a huge thing that is absolutely insane. So your mech inherits a percentage of all your combat attributes except precision, which is added to its own. That is insane. You get more power, everything, all the combat stats are increased with this trait. It gets a percentage of it. 50% of your stats are inherited by the mech, which, by the way, is further increased with this middle line right here. That's fucking insanity. Your mech, just by default, with this one trait, is stronger than all of your Ranger pets. This one trait, right when you unlock Mechanist, the first fucking trait you get, putting in, 40 hero points, it makes it immediately stronger than the Ranger pet. Isn't that insane? Like, the Ranger pet scales every level, and I will say, in the earlier levels, the Ranger pet is really good. It does really kick ass, but it scales awfully at 80. It's absolutely terrible at 80. I think it's really designed around people with, like, fucking soldier stats and stuff like that. It's awful. So, either they need to at least increase the fucking the scaling at level 80 because it's horrible right now for Ranger pets. That's absolutely awful. Like, I'm doing, like 5,000-6,000 damage of just like an auto attack, sometimes like 7 or 8 on Greatsword on my third one. My pet does, on the Iboga, it does like 556 damage with Beast Mastery, just by default. Like, what? Wait, what? That's crazy. This trait right here. Now, I will say these traits, some of these traits will just give your pet skills, which is cool, because you can customize your pet. But I'm going to kind of avoid those. Although they did give you an extra effect, right? So, like, your mech will apply bleeding, which is huge here for a Condi setup. Which, by the way, this trait right here makes it scale with your expertise stats and your condition damage stats, which will massively increase the damage. And look at this, I don't have to do anything. The Ranger pet would be taking its sweet time trying to kill this motherfucker, and I just don't have to do anything. Like, he's just kicking ass. That's great. The mech attack that I'm using here will generate might for itself and its allies. This is immediately better than any fucking pet that you could take for supportive cases on the Ranger. You have to reduce your damage massively by switching off the Iboga to, like, I don't know, a White Tiger, a Jungle Stalker, whatever. Anything that can give boons to your allies. Look, we have the Jungle Stalker, which is on like a 20 to 30 second cooldown for the B skill. 5 stacks of might. Meanwhile, every single time this mech attacks, it gives its allies might. Like, that's awesome. That's amazing with like a 1 second interval there. That's incredible. Meanwhile, Aegis on like a 30 second cooldown. It's just, you don't get, just with this one ability, I'm trading into damage. I get more support here than I do with any pet on like Untamed if I were to like trait into supportive stuff, right? On any ranger spec, really. So that's fucking insanity. This is a huge thing right here. So your 3 skill will make your pet do a little synergy attack. Cooler than, like, I think that's, isn't that, yeah, that's more than anything, any weapon or anything on the ranger. That's more than anything. Like, the closest thing we have to that is what, Sword 3 giving, or Sword auto attack, the 3rd chain, giving might to your pet, like 1 stack. You know, Maul increasing the damage of the next pet attack for 50%, which sounds incredible, but it actually isn't really that much in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, toughness and vitality, 100%. This boosted up to 48,000 health! 48k! That is more than like 99% of the ranger pets. You can get slightly higher, like 53k with like a bear, but the bear does literally no damage. It's purely meant for tanking. Meanwhile, this beast of a damage machine gets 48,000 health. 48,000 health. Like, fuck me, dude. That's crazy. And then we go into this trait right here. It gets my precision and ferocity. 100%! 100%! Like, fuck me! That's insane. And then we have this, which makes our pet even tankier. So whenever it's, you know, below, or whenever it, gets like 50%, yeah, half health, it activates emergency extinguishing whatever the fuck. God, I'm so fucking stupid. Alright, well anyway, for 5 seconds, it'll reduce the damage, it'll grant itself regen, and also increase the amount of regen healing you get, which synergizes with Mace 2, and that you provide Mace, regen to yourself and your allies, and if there's not a lot of allies around you, just your pet's going to be getting regen, so massively, but passively, it's going to be getting regen and just being even more tanky. This is one trait. I don't have to trait into making my pet tankier. This is a passive trait. Like, fuck me! That's insanity. And then this one right here doesn't really do a whole lot for the pet. I mean, yeah, it'll do, like, the occasional area bombardment or whatever. And then mech skills will grant you quickness. With the auto-cast thing, it's just passive quickness. Which is hilarious. And it's super fun. It's great. And, you would think, oh, well, whenever you unsummon it, you're on a really long cooldown, you can't swap pets, whatever, but... Introducing Overclock Signet. You press it, and it brings back your pet. Kaboom. Pretty insane. This is depressing. This is absolutely depressing. So, on Ranger, you have to take an entire trait line that's not Beastmastery, Nature Magic, that's focused entirely on support and not damage, to get boons on your pet to make it stronger and do actually, like, somewhat respectable damage. We put one skill on here, and boons are copied to my mech. One skill, and guess what? It's 100% of the boon duration. Where if I get Might or Fury, it's like 5 seconds for both of those. This is 100% of that duration. What? And then I have the signets. I mean, the signets count for your ranger pet as well. I can't really go into that, but. Yeah, this is, like, insane. Something needs to be done about Untamed. They need to look into this for October. If they aren't already. I would think they're already working on a change. But, like, mechanists are so... But we're so spoiled on here in comparison to Ranger. Like, it's just sad. It's really sad because I prefer Ranger. I prefer Ranger theme. I prefer the weapons. I prefer literally, like... most things about Ranger, but the core reason why I prefer the core reason why I play Ranger is because of a pet, and this one just kicks the shit out of it. It just kicks the shit out of it. You don't have to really trait into much. It's great. I don't like having to trait into my pet a lot. I want to be able to make myself stronger and then have my pet become stronger with me, and I like that about Mechanist. And I'm just really sad that they put all of this work into making the mech a fucking powerhouse, and Rangers got none of it. Like, they got none of it. We got nothing on Ranger that is what the work they did on Mechanist. Literally nothing. It's very sad. And, dude, we haven't even gotten the auto cast on the Unleash skills either. They just don't give a fuck. They don't care. You can't You can't do the auto cast on the unleash skills at all. You still have to manually press those. That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. Like, I mean, look at this. It's taking on a veteran enemy. I mean, all these guys, and my pet would be struggling right now. I mean, it's cleaving passively on its auto attack, where literally most auto attacks on the pets on Ranger don't cleave at all. They're just single target. When every melee attack in the game cleaves, and our pet is a single target. Like, come on, man. It's so fucking sad. It's so sad saying this. I'm so depressed whenever I play this game now because of this. Now I did subject myself to it, but it's just so fucking sad. I don't even really want to play this game anymore, honestly. I love this game, but whenever I do this and I start like thinking about this, doing this video makes me want to like get off of this game and go play something else. I don't know. It's just really fucking sad. I think that's just kind of the end message here. Is it's just really sad seeing how bad Untamed is. I mean, Mechanist is fun. You know, it's fun, and I think Untamed is strong in terms of damage. But well, I still stick by that to this day. Untamed is strong with damage. Um, it still is, but you just get no pen interaction on it, and we got nothing, and Mechanist got everything. And it's just it feels very unfair, and it's just fucked up, you know. It feels like you have a sibling that your parents care so much about and got so much shit on Christmas, and they give them all the fucking things in the world, and you're stuck with the same thing that you got 10 years ago. Like, that just is terrible. That's absolutely awful. You would think of a new elite spec they would do a lot of modernization to the Ranger that they already did on the Mechanist, but nope. We don't get shit around here. So yeah, I'm just gonna go play something else for right now. Peace.